This is one of the worst retirement stories I've ever heard. So this couple, Mike and Sandy, it's not their real names obviously, they were starting to feel the call to retire. Mike worked the same job for nearly 30 years. They did everything textbook, maxed out the 401k, paid off as much of his house as they could, didn't buy anything too stupid. For the most part, they did everything right. And they thought they were in a good place financially. So they started down the path to retirement, and their first step was to go see what the advisor at the local bank thought. After a really long review, that advisor told them that they'd have to work 4 more years. Obviously, this devastated Mike and Sandy. I mean, he was so sick of getting up before the sun every single day and not getting home until after dark every single day. Mike ran the same machine for almost 30 years. The same movement, the same position, the same... He didn't really hate it. He was good at it, but his body sure hated it. His left knee was horrible. It needed to be replaced. His shoulder was so messed up that he couldn't lift anything heavier than a 12-ounce bottle of beer, which he was doing more and more of. And Mike and Sandy had plans. They wanted to travel. They wanted to golf. They wanted to see America. And they wanted to finally enjoy their lives on their terms. 4 more years of working in this crappy job. Ugh. But, they felt like they had no choice. That advisor was a professional, and they didn't know squat about financial planning. He sounded really smart, and he worked at a really well-known firm, so he must be right. So, back to the salt mines Mike went, torturing his body more and more every day, beating up his knee and shoulder, and unfortunately drinking way too much on Sunday nights because he knew he had to be at work Monday morning, and a whole other week of that crappy job was waiting for him. Sandy saw how miserable Mike was starting to get, and she felt terrible. She also started to feel alone. Mike was getting really miserable and really depressed, and he stopped talking to just about everybody. He shut almost everybody out of his life. And Sandy started to resent Mike. She thought, we're in this together. We always have been. But now she felt like he was pushing her away. All Mike wanted to do was to get through these 4 years and retire the way they were planning to, and now he's starting to feel like he was letting her down. He was starting to feel like everything they worked for was unraveling. By the time 4 more years was up, and they saved up enough based on that advisor's recommendation, things were terrible between them. They both felt alone. They both felt miserable. They resented each other, and they were constantly arguing and blaming each other. Finally, Mike retired, and within a year he died. And here's the crappiest part of that story. I met with Sandy. I took a look at where they were 4 years ago, and for the life of me, I simply can't see what that advisor was telling them. I mean, I can, because I understand why he told them what he told them. It just wasn't right. Look, if you feel like you're in this situation, you're tired of feeling this pain, if you're tired of feeling held hostage and sick of working a job that's literally killing you, I get it. I grew up in Capron, a small town of about 600 people, and just about everyone there works in manufacturing or construction. My first and second jobs were both in manufacturing. I was a machinist. My parents worked in manufacturing. All my neighbors worked in manufacturing or construction. And just about everyone worked longer than they needed to because some brain-dead advisor who's never worked this kind of job ever told them they had to. But many of them don't. So, if you're sick of it and you think you're ready to consider retirement, I have a path that might work for you. It's our transition to retirement process. To learn more, just fill out the questionnaire and we'll schedule a quick conversation and we'll chat about it. Thanks and talk soon.